evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Daly City Recreation Commission. It is Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. Friendly reminder for those that are here, there are two ways for public participation. First is to submit a comment in writing, and please visit www.dalycity.org/agendas and complete the public comment form. And the second way is to speak at the meeting in person. Please complete a speaker card located at the entrance to the council chambers and submit to a staff member as early in the meeting as possible. I am calling this meeting into order at 7:01, and I'd like everyone to join me for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Thank you. And can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Inouye, Commissioner Luna, Commissioner Ortiz,
Present.
Vice Chair Miranda,
Here.
Chair Montanez.
Here, thank you. And approval of agenda, feel free to look it over. And if everyone is satisfied, can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I motion to approve.
All right, thank you. I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, thank you. And second is approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Feel free to read it over, and if everyone is satisfied, I invite anyone to make a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. And for public comment, looks like we have one this evening. I'd like to invite Councilwoman Pamela Di Giovanni.
I'll take it. Good evening, Recreation Commission Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioner. It's an honor to be here tonight. I wanted to come and just, first of all, thank all of you for all the hard work you do to bring our recreation, because it's so important. And with your great advisors here, that we need to move in a direction that is always engaging in our community. So I appreciate all of your service and your dedication and your love for our community and city. So it is with a little heartbreak, which I'm sure most of you know, that our Commissioner, Vice Chair, Saul Miranda, I wanted to personally come and thank you, because from the very beginning, as you know, I won't make it too, my heart, right? But I knew right away that he had the integrity, the dedication, and connected to this community, because he grew up in this community, as Nate knows, for a very long time. And when you have that, you want to give back. And so when he accepted to be the Recreation Commissioner, I was so humbled and still humbled and grateful to this day, because it is so important that character matters. I think you and I had that discussion before. And that especially these days and times, and character matters, love matters for your community, and don't ever let anybody shake it from you, no matter what. So it's with a great heart. And I know that you'll be whatever you do. I wish you the best in all you do. You know that. And you can't go too far from me, which you know that. But with all your service, dedication, what you've given to the commission, to all working together, your collaboration, your love for your community, and this is your home always, and the door is always open. I know you thank me for opening the door, but I thank you for walking through it, and for walking through it with everything you have, because that's who you are as a person. And I'm more blessed in my life to have you in my life, and that we all have been blessed by you being on this commission and serving your community. So with a grateful heart, I thank you. And I tell the commissioners, if whoever in our community, I know that whoever you all would encourage to fill out an application, that we get them to move forward. And then I know people are replaceable, but they're not. And that goes for the rest of you as well, because I know what it takes to be on a commission, and there are those, and I know that each of you have given back to this community and care, and you're there not for titles, but you're there because you love your community and you're giving back. I mean, my goodness, you were children. One day, back in the day. And now here you are, young adults and continuing on. So Commissioner Saul, Vice Chair, I wish you the best. And as your journey unfolds, we never know where it'll end up because you never knew where you were going to be today, tomorrow, or the next day. Let it be filled with love, happiness, and blessings. Thank you very much. And thank you for the time, Chair, to address all of you. And again, thank you all for all you do. And thank you as well, Director and Eduardo and Jen and Romeo. We couldn't do it without you because this is a great family, this recreation. Bar none, the best city in the recreation. Thank you very much. Humbled and grateful.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Di Giovanni. I'm gonna save my simple speech for so later in the agenda, but thank you. Moving on to Direct's report. Anything to report?
Excuse me, I don't have an item per se, but I would like to introduce you to our newest member of the Department of Recreation Services, if I could. And I would like her to come up. So as she's walking up, I'm going to introduce you to Jessica Trong, who is our new Class Development Cultural Arts Administrator. And if Jessica could just give a little blurb about where she was and who she is and how she got here, even though she was here once before.
I get to
So.
give her a clap back. Clap back.
Thanks, Pam. All right.
It's exciting.
Hello, commissioners. Thank you, Denise, for that intro. This microphone is not needed. My name is Jessica. I started as an intern here in Daly City back in 2018, I believe. And since then, I have worked at North County Fire Services, which provides fire to Daly City, Brisbane, and Pacifica as an office assistant too. And after that, I jumped back into recreation. I was a recreation coordinator for the city of Sunnyvale, and then I got promoted to a recreation supervisor also for the city of Sunnyvale. Thank you. But it's all secular. I'm back here in Daly City, ready to work with these people that I've known for my entire career, and I'm excited to do the cultural events and contract classes and anything that they kind of throw at me for this city. But hello, nice to meet you, Chair, Vice Chair. It's your last day, but wow, that's loud. Nice to meet you. I'm sad that you're moving out, but hopefully, and nice to meet you as well. Cool.
Thank you. Great resume. I'm grateful. I think I speak on behalf of the commission to say that I'm grateful we have a wonderful person coming in. Daly City rooted, I'm assuming?
I'm actually from South San Francisco.
A town over. I count it. I count it.
Actually, the Daly City border is like 2 minutes from my house, so basically Daly City.
Yeah, so the road still comes back home. So thank you for that. Moving on to commissioner's report. I'll just do the agenda. So ad hoc committee update discussion of our yearly unified goals. So brief review on our last meeting. We had discussed the ideas of just brainstorming some goals, some ideas we want to pursue and to work on for the year. And it was one of the first things I discussed as my role as chair. I wanted to really practice that unified collective goal building and group work. And so on the next few pages is the list that the ad hoc committee has compiled from our last meeting, and there are two main groups of goals that came in mind. First is the fundraising, specifically for our scholarship fund, which is a huge goal that we kind of united on pursuing. And the second is general commission engagement with community. And so feel free to read it over, but I just want to open up the floor and discuss with my fellow commissioners and staff that are here too, and new staff and council regarding these particular items. And if there's anything you want to address, any input, or especially input on this list that's been compiled. So anyone want to start that discussion?
Yeah, real quick. So could we take this and just kind of essentially like narrow down our goals to like about just 2 or 3 of them? Because right here, like we got scholarship fund, commission engagement with community, like those could be 2 goals in itself one way. But
Yeah, I think that's kind of the purpose of it. This whole list was just like simply the ad hoc committee listening in to the previous meetings and jotting down the fine, important highlights and details. I think it's also up to us to really be malleable and try to see if we can, be a bit more broad. If we want to specify our goals a bit more, synthesize it further, that's a possibility. But these were the discussions that came up during the meeting, and we can definitely make it a bit broader if that's what we prefer. And also, this is not like a fixed document. This is a living, breathing document, so we can definitely add on, edit along as we go, and when things come up or happen, we can definitely adapt as needed. Any feedback from staff too is definitely appreciated.
I always like to jump in for things like this when no one's talking. So I've gotten an opportunity to go over this list many times since it was sent to me. I think what you have here is essentially the building blocks of what us as staff would love from a recreation commission. That not to say we have not had this, but having a direction for you to kind of like, this is where you guys can help us. Tapping into the community and other resources outside of our domain while we try and focus on what we have to do as city employees to make sure, one, our participants are well taken care of, that our staff are taken care of, that we're providing services that are essential to the community. We may not have that time and ability to reach out to other people and to really, really figure out what's out there to get help. I can talk to you about the scholarship fund in particular that, unless we're actually driving that, we want scholarship fund, it becomes the second fiddle to everything. We're trying to grab participants, we're trying to deal with budgets, things like that. Having someone else help us drive that is invaluable. I can tell you right now, currently we had a goal of, I had last year when we started really pushing for scholarships. In my head, I just wanted to put out a goal of $100,000 to raise. With everything we've tried, we got to close to, I think it was like $60,000. And that was with things coming in, us trying as best as we could, using what budget we had to push things. But I can tell you right now that more is always welcome because the need is out there. So far this year, we've given over 50 scholarships because not knowing how much money we were going to have coming in. Essentially, I had to kind of cap it at a certain amount that I wish I could double, triple for those that need it. And the hope is that more people will become aware of it, but that the funds are there to help everybody. There are people with multiple children that they want to get into multiple programs. And again, not knowing how much money we're going to have for the future. Because again, we, in our scholarship, when we brought the policy and the revamped process, we can only give out as much as we have. Because we do not want to end up where we were 5 years ago, where essentially we had tapped out completely. We want to be able to give enough so we can help as many people as possible, even if it's a little. But again, going back to getting the word out of how people can help. And people really understanding what the scholarship fund is for. It's to help people participate in our programs so that One, there's childcare during the summer, whether participating in one of our many camps, if it's participating in extracurricular stuff like our basketball program, any of our athletic programs, our classes, because we've opened it up to everything we offer. And the other part is to not forget that this is also for active adults. So anyone 50 plus that wants to join any of our active adult programs, this year was the first time we actually gave a scholarship to an active adult because we've been pushing it. We want to give out more, but we need to be able to reach out to the community and get more. And it's not to say that we want. It's we want so we can give. And that is the key. And again, with what we offer from January to December, sometimes it becomes a little much to be able to take our time to work on working scholarships. So we've tried, like you've said, leveraging our existing recreation events, but having other people to speak on behalf, because it's one thing for us as staff to be able to speak to the community about what we do, to have the community speak to the rest of the community. That is the key. I would love to eventually, once towards the end of the year, my goal is to reach out to everyone that received a scholarship to see if we can get a testimonial. It could be anonymous, but just to see how much, even if it was a little, to see what that meant for them to get that scholarship. Because I have been reached out to me like, thank you for the scholarship, it helps us great. There's been other people that have been like, we only get this much because they need more. It's not about being greedy, it's about this is what it is. So all these things that you have, it's gonna be a great help if you're able to just kind of reach out to who you know, get people on board, push them our way, be that liaison between us and the community. It will help us greatly. So.
Thank you, Edgardo. A couple things to add to this list. This portion with commission engagement with community, I honestly think this is a set of like expectations for all of the commissions as opposed to a unified goal. So I'm down to like kind of keep this, but essentially just keep it as our agreed expectations to hold each other accountable for that. The fundraising is definitely a goal. I think we should work this portion so it's a little more detailed and concrete about what those specific goals are. And if there's one other overall goal I would like to have is something, I don't know exactly what it is yet. Obviously we'd have this conversation, but what a vision could look like for like infrastructure for recreation, like 5-10 years down the line, assuming that we get like a budget for that. We've seen other recreation departments that look from the outside, they've got their upgrades. It looks inspirational from the outside. I feel like the city deserves that type of infrastructure too. But obviously that wouldn't be an immediate like goal for us to achieve. It's something that we would chip away at over the years. But just us, this particular group, for us to have that shared vision together, I think is important for us to have for this.
I think this document's really good. It's giving a 30,000-foot view of what could take place. The way that I was analyzing all this is that, for instance, like in the first fundraising for scholarships funds, kind of to the earlier comments, it's like expectations, things that the group can meet, and then also kind of jumps into possible projects that come to mind, whether the ad hoc can take on or another, or just together. It kind of sounds like a project opportunity. But I think this is a really good beginning to identify what direction, what path the group wants to go into. For instance, Edgardo was making comments, and what it reminded me of is collecting stories of, testimonies and things like that. And I think that's great because that's ultimately going to help out with outreach and, how recreation presents itself. One other thing that I think would also go well, and I've seen this with other nonprofits because I'm also part of the board of a nonprofit in San Mateo County, and right now we're focusing on outreaching to people who have donated or people who have engaged with the nonprofit at events. It gives us an opportunity to have, either a phone call with people, just straight up like, hey, thanks for supporting, but what do you want to see out of the nonprofit? How do you want the nonprofit to engage? One other thing that comes to mind as we're doing this, I guess, research, is that having thank you letters. And what came to mind as Edgardo was talking is like ultimately, one way of doing it is for the people who attend, and it's another way to capture those parents with the kids that go and people who attend, is sending them thank you letters. But then it comes to mind is like maybe we don't have their address or their information. What's another way? Well, then maybe even having like a preset of thank you letter cards and stuff for people who attend, and as we see them leaving and everything, just like, hey, here you go. Just it's another opportunity to have that contact. And I think the commission can definitely do that engagement, just as we're observing and seeing what's going on. But thank you cards go a far way. And I think just to add on, maybe it's something worth exploring. But I do see, just kind of going back to the list, that there are opportunities to, as I see these goals in more of a 30,000-foot view, there are definitely opportunities for projects that we can take on, or either the ad hoc can take on, whether it's a research project or just kind of, collecting data and stuff. Also for outreach, now I'm kind of trailing off a little bit, but another idea that came to mind was looking at other commissions within our district or just within San Mateo County and seeing how they're doing, what is working for them, for the commissioners, and kind of another opportunity to talk about goals and stuff. Kind of reminds me of that time when we did that. I think it was in Burlingame. But nevertheless, I think it still opens doors to just kind of make that initial outreach and just seeing how they're doing and stuff. And yeah, just to gather more data on that sense. I think that's it for now.
Cool. Thank you, everyone, for the feedbacks, comments. I think all our heads are wrapping in the same idea of, tuning the goals a bit in finer definition, but ultimately reaching the next stage, which is strategy, which is coming up with concrete, doable, feasible strategies within our capabilities to actually meet these goals we had discussed. And I think there's already a lot of great ideas coming into mind. Just touching base on the idea of like the thank you notes, the testimonials, like I think that puts in the under miscellaneous the goal of looking into data and community feedback and see how we can take that and do something with it in terms of, you know, outreaching for more donors and outreaching for the scholarship fund, and also understanding, okay, is how good is the scholarship fund serving our residents, and how can we capitalize out of that to expand it. So I think in terms of next steps, just going down the list of like recommendations for now. I had the fundraising ad hoc in mind, but that's just a suggestion. Rather, I do want to touch base on like, is there already any like first steps we are looking at in terms of strategy that we want to look into as like, okay, this is our first step. Let's see how we can address it.
If I may, Mike,
Yeah.
may I chime in real
Of
quick?
course, of course.
Before you get into that part. I'm on the other side of, I'm always about the scholarship, yes, but I love the fact that the engagement engaging all of you into what we do. I've had the opportunity to work with Commissioner Ortiz through the Hip Hop Day event, and I love the fact that you guys have your own kind of outlets and your own peeps that you reach out to, which is completely different than what we have with the community base. And I love the fact that we can, I would love to see more of that kind of engagement too, having that ability to run a program or do an event or collaborate, because your creative minds are outside of our boxes of what we do. And it just would, it makes me happy and it fills my heart just to be able to do things, not just that you're coming to participate and see what we do, because we already know you wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't love recreation and love what we do. But having you do and be a part of one of the events, it just makes that even better, because you guys have such grassroots buildings with other community members or other partners in what you do, and you're all different lanes of you're completely different in what your backgrounds are, and I think that adds to our passion of what we do by bringing in something new. So I just wanted to throw that back out there, because I love the scholarship fund and I love what we do there. But I also love the fact that you guys are already engaged in certain things and how that can complement maybe some of our events year round. So,
And with that being said, I think I could transition it to a potential first step. One thing I did notice during the Hip Hop Day planning, I think this year we took a shift to really push in the fundraising for the scholarship with this event. But I definitely noticed we are lacking materials for fundraising. So essentially, like geared specifically towards the scholarship fund, we kind of had to build that out from scratch using other materials from other events in Daly City. But we essentially were passing around one pitch deck trying to raise as much money, and like that's probably the only pitch deck that we have that's ready off the ground, ready to go for a presentation to raise money. So I'm sure there's other baby steps for us to even get this first step going. But I know that if we were to provide materials to all the staff here, including everybody on this commission and other commissions as well, because all you got to do is give folks the pitch deck. If they have a network, they just got to run it through. And the odds of us building that scholarship fund through donations is definitely a tool that I think everybody here in this room could utilize. But we literally had to build that thing from scratch, and I think that's the only thing. And we could really only use that deck for this event specifically.
So when you're referring to deck, paint me an image. What exactly is
It's
it?
like a very important PowerPoint presentation. It's like the passive aggressive way of asking for money.
Yeah, from my understanding, PowerPoint is like the old term now. Like the new term is our slide deck. I learned that the other day. But just jumping off like the ideas that Commissioner Nate had, and touching base on leveraging the existing recreation events. Like there's an opportunity for us being part of the event, being present there, and just like taking in the event for ourselves, but also if there's a stage like in Kasayahan or in Pachanga or in Hip Hop Day, 5 minutes of like a commissioner taking the stage and just saying, "Hey, thank you for attending. Let me talk to you about our scholarship fund." And having these tools of the QR code, of the slide decks, even a simple flyer that we can, show to people and discuss further. Like I think there's capital on that and having that conversation with those tools in our hands. And so I think that's also just wrapping with commission engagement with community and engaging with these events. We're a representative of this department of our community let's take advantage of a stage in every event and just say, hey, you're all here because we're all celebrating culture, we're all celebrating the recreation department. Let's support it fiscally in this way, in this opportunity. So that's a concrete strategy that we can already set during Hip Hop Day, during Kasayahan. Just sharing the stage and having a strategy with that presentation, but also just, we have a great big audience already in one place. Let's present, right? So yeah, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I want to ask all the staff here, is there any staffing goals, budgeting goals in terms of like having extra recreation staff in any particular location that you would want us to focus on, or?
Are you speaking like physical, we want more staff? Or,
Yeah,
or we have a
staff,
budget for this
that too,
event?
yeah.
And we need to make it larger and we don't have the money to do that because this is our expense and it equals our revenue.
I guess all of the above, right? Just
Yeah.
just getting your guys's, because we've talked about just our goals from our vision of it as well. But like, if we could throw something in here too, to say, we know, so you're transitioning, we get a new commissioner in, we could have that emphasis rolling with the new commissioner like from day one, you know?
I'll speak on my behalf, but if anyone here wants to say anything else, for us, getting another staff person is a very difficult challenge in general, especially kind of where we're at in regards to a city budget. So I would say the supporting of here's scholarship, but what things are in kind that we can get that equal a value of money, but I don't have to pay for it now because we've got such and such is going to make a donation for it.
So we're talking like classroom materials, program materials.
I think in that regard, yes, we can do something like that. I think our youth recreation program kind of has some of the funds that they do because we have ELOP grant that's in place or an ACES grant that's in place doing that. I would say our special events or our cultural events are the ones that are impacted the most because we only have this amount of money for the hip hop day, but where are we going to find something else to ignite to make it a bigger and better? And you have
Understood.
Northeast
Yeah, no,
and that kind of
understood. I think to sum it up, if that's okay, it's still fundraising, but it's not necessarily scholarship fund, right? Where, it's, and in turn, maybe focusing on that just as much as the scholarship fund impacts the scholarship fund as well, if we're leveraging these events to raise money for the
And I think
scholarship
what
fund.
we can do on our end is, and this could go through Romeo and David that do the, and Jessica, that do the cultural and special events, is we could say, here's lists of things that we need for Hip Hop Day, or that we'd like to see for Hip Hop Day, or Kasayahan, or Pachanga, or Spring Fun Day, or Frosty Snowfest, or all of that. We can say these are the items that we need, and then we can come back to you and say, do you have any outlets to find this, find that, find this?
No, agreed. And I think the quickest way to make the impact is obviously find like the biggest donor. The way I've seen those mechanisms work is you chip away at it, you get a corporation to bring 150 of their employees and do arts and crafts with the community for all like the summer program. They do their thing. Everyone gets a fun day. And then the corporation gets the recognition of being a community engagement company, and then that's when the big ask comes, so we could strengthen the partnership even more, right? So I'm seeing it as fundraising efforts through and through, but essentially with two different and very distinct like locations where the funds go. But I think if we really work at it, if we fundraise for the events, that could also trickle its way to fundraising for the scholarship fund through that event, because we've made that event bigger than it was the year before, years past. We have more people. I know we're talking about other fundraising efforts like at these events. I want to explore the 50-50 raffle opportunity. I know we've mentioned that before, but I think that's a great idea, focusing on the big events so we could leverage it to do the same thing for fundraising through and through.
And if I could just add, so we just did a backyard barbecue. And it was going to be this spaghetti feed in January. It turned into Opal wanting to cook up a storm for the backyard barbecue, but she got every food item donated from the vendors that service us on a weekly basis. So there was no cost to that. We had a very minimal cost, I want to say like $400, but we raised $3,750 on that event because the community came and they sold out 250 lunches. And part of that was employees that partook in it, and then the rest were a lot of our active adult seniors that participated. And, you know, like you talk about chipping away at certain things, that is something where, you know, it took somebody word of mouth to say, hey, can you make a donation of food for us for this event? And they did, and now it's because we pay for a lot of food throughout the year, but still tying into the connections that Opal has built throughout these years really gave us something that it was our staff time, obviously, but I just think that we keep chipping away and using our partnerships and resources and all that, it just will build a greater foundation of who we are.
Any other, excuse me, any other comments or suggestions from? Yeah, go ahead.
Just how my brain works. So just to break it down for the last of how I'm understanding, or for you guys to see it. So both ways of fundraising. One, if we fundraise for the scholarship, it allows more people to participate. And the other way of fundraising helps to lower the city's subsidy. So if like you got somebody to donate lunches for the seniors for one day, that in-kind service then would reduce the amount we need to spend for that day to make the lunches. So yeah, so if you want to set two types of goals. One would be raising money so that more people can participate through their scholarship funds, and then the other is to help to lower the subsidy, because a lot of recreation programs, I think all of our recreation programs are subsidized by the city.
And that in-kind donation could be in creative ways too, other than just the monetary. And I think that's what Denise was pointing out. And cool. Thank you.
I think folks brought up a good point of like, we're focused on the scholarship fund, but like the root of the issues within the department and alleviating any like fiscal struggle. That's also an important goal because we want to make sure that these events, these programs are running smoothly. And I don't want to tell anyone, but council is here in some way, and hopefully we can discuss after the meeting perhaps on, you know, creative ways to have innovative ideas. But yeah, so just kind of wrapping up the discussion. Oh yeah, go ahead, sorry.
One more, the beautiful act of writing. I don't know if you can write grants. Right. Yeah.
No, I haven't. Basically what kind of comes to mind at this point is like how now, like from being a 30,000-foot view of what we have, what are some takeaways from today's meeting that can get us a little bit closer to maybe a 10,000-foot view, just so the ad hoc can meet again and ultimately just kind of hash out, all right, for community engagement, we're going to deal with this and this. for fundraising, this and this. And then if you guys want to add data or research or however you want to do it, you guys, data can focus on this and this, or research this and this. So like for community engagement, what kind of came to mind, especially after those last comments, was I hear partnerships and family and attendees. Like those are going to be your two community engagement, vehicles, so to speak. And nurturing those relationships. And then for fundraising, what 2 avenues or 3 avenues does fundraising want to focus on, just so we can get attendees or offset costs or such? Just want to kind of throw that out so we can
Yeah,
get
I
closer.
could throw like a couple ideas just to keep it more concrete for the fundraising for the scholarship fund. I know Edgardo put out $100,000 goal last year. Am I correct? I think we could parking lot that number for the next meeting just so we could see what's like a more feasible one. But I think first steps and getting it down to a 10,000-foot view, it would be like building materials out, a pitch deck, and sheesh. In the meantime, like let's find within our network grant writers that could donate some time to us as well.
I do want to say that it's unfortunate, but there are many people who are about to get unemployed, and some of those people were grant writers, and it may be a great opportunity to just ask if they have time, um, uh, donate their time, volunteer for maybe even offering guidance or such. So yeah, LinkedIn would be a great time to look at grant writers, maybe, or such. Just to kind of see what's out there, who can offer a lending hand.
Just touching on the 100K goal and kind of maybe having a different number to make it feasible. I mean, we can even go as low as, or not low, but like we can even set a number per event or like per project if there's an opportunity to fundraise. Like, for example, the upcoming hip hop event, if one of us can present, if there's already a pitch deck made by then, we can have a goal of like, if folks can donate $1,000 from this event to the scholarship fund, right?
Yeah, we currently have a goal, I believe, was it 10K for the event?
Towards the scholarship fund?
Towards,
Okay.
yeah, towards scholarship
Nice.
fund. So we have 10K. We have a few sponsors that's just kind of lingering out there. But essentially, yeah, like I would love to make these materials kind of based off how we did it on Hip Hop Day. But yeah. And real quick, doing it like per event, yeah, we could absolutely do that. But essentially, like I would look at it through how many events in the year, what are like feasible like goals for these events, and then kind of total that up throughout, for the whole year.
Awesome. This is definitely not the last time we'll be talking about this. Like I said earlier, it's going to be an ongoing yearly discussion because we're going to look back at this document and reflect on progress, on updating, on changes. But I do want to just conclude it. If there's any other like last comments or suggestions, we can make this another agenda item for our next meeting, most definitely, just to refine our strategies. I think the next step is refining our strategies a bit more. But if there's no other feedbacks or discussion, again, thank you everyone for the discussion, the feedbacks, the strategies. This is exciting because I think my intention as chair was to really have a direction for the commission to go for and just like what can we do within our capabilities in addressing any issues that the department has. And I think it's very telling that there's current staff, new staff, and council here listening in because your inputs, by the way, are also very valuable. And so hopefully we'll definitely discuss this in our next meeting, but I will close it for now. And I just want to move on to addressing the elephant in the room. Our vice chair is um, concluding his term for this evening, and I just want to say a few words, if I may. This is my first year as a commissioner for the rec department, and my first year as chair. And Saul has been nothing but welcoming, have been a great mentor, a big brother of mine, just giving me any wisdom when he has some, and it's been very pleasant to have you next to me. Saddened, yes, that you are retiring from the commission, but excited for your next chapter in life. Despite the title being retired, your input, your contribution is still needed here in any way. Because, I mean, even tonight, despite you leaving the commission, you're still providing the input, you're still providing the work. And looking forward to having that continue in the future. So thank you for your service. Thank you for your time as a commissioner. So yeah, thank you, Saul.
Oh, yep, my turn. All right. So I met Saul at Bayshore Community Center in my first year working over there. He was like, I want to say you're one of the older teens and then transitioned out. So when I first got there, I never was his instructor or anything like that. We would just like cross paths in the center. But I totally remember that. But there's not many people that come back. That's what it is. That's like the important thing. That showed me a lot about who you were or who you are, who you were during that time. I've like haven't seen you since like high school till literally like a couple years ago when you joined the commission. So thank you for your time here, Saul. Thank you for the effort that you gave to the community here. You're always welcome. You know our needs. So if you have a grant writer, send them our way. Send her our way. But thank you so much, Saul, and best of luck to you wherever you're at.
Thank you, and thank you. It has been a blessing. It really has. Like I was telling Councilwoman Giovanni that, no, thank you for opening this door. For some of you guys that know, I work for Senator Becker. That's what I do during the day. And I've always looked for different ways of being engaged in my community and everything. And, just from that experience working with Senator Becker, I knew I had to, in some way, pour back into Daly City in some capacity. And, the door opened with Councilwoman Giovanni, and I'm really grateful for that. And I know, moving on, I will be definitely still active in some manner, just in a different capacity, but I have ideas. Nate, thank you. Even when I joined, thank you for being a mentor, guiding me. And Fernando, I am really excited for you because you're leading this commission in what I think is the right direction. And having these conversations is only going to be able to make this commission be more helpful, not only to our community, but also to the staff, the recreation as a group. And I'm really excited. I am deeply saddened, to be honest, because I love these conversations. It continues that fire within me. But I know the commission is in good hands. And I will still participate in a different capacity, but more than happy to share any information, resources, connections to folks. I will be sharing. So please do not hesitate to reach out, or if you want to brainstorm, I'm here for that. I open that door, so please continue the conversations and in some way keep me in them, and I'd love to share.
Again, thank you, Saul. Friendly reminder, there are two ways for public participation. So those avenues are always open. We'll see you in public comment.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on to announcements and communications. I will pass the mic over to staff.
If I may,
Of course.
I would like to pass it back to Commissioner Ortiz if he would like to. Thank
Yeah,
you.
totally. So I'm doing an announcement. All right. All right. Daly City Hip Hop Day, Saturday, August 16th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at War Memorial Community Center. We have a full performance lineup, breakdancing competition at the highest level. We have DJ activations with open turntables. We have vendors from all over the Bay Area selling streetwear, merch, and a lot of like gift shop type of stuff is great. There's a ton of them. And then what else do we have? We have free food for the community. Can I mention our sponsors for the food already? Are we there yet, or is it? All right, no, we'll announce it later this week. We'll be rolling out material later this week. But oh yeah, totally. Oh my goodness. And we're inducting this at the second annual Hall of Fame, Hip Hop Hall of Fame at Daly City. We're inducting none other than DJ Apollo. We're getting to honor all of his entire impact for the hip hop and what he's done for the city of Daly City. It's going to be an awesome event. Last year we had 2,000 plus attendees. We're expecting more. So please invite all of your friends, family members. It was all ages last year. Everyone had a grand old time. And my business, 13 Gallons, is going to continue doing 100 free shirts for whoever shows up to our table. But yeah, if you've been there last year, you saw how big it was. It's even bigger this year. Did I miss anything? Not all right. Hopefully, I got everybody excited. But yeah, again, it's Saturday, August 16th, 11 to 5 p.m. at War Memorial.
All right. Thank you for that announcement. I will see you there. If I can add an inquiry about like a teen market event that's happening on August 2nd, is it possible for staff to also announce that? Because I think I saw that. I'm like, I think it's.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
The flyer posts. Yeah.
Sorry to throw a curveball at you guys. Yeah.
You want me to pull up the Instagram post so you could just read it out loud?
If that works for staff, I can just read the flyer. Yeah. Here, how about this? How about this? While we're looking for that, I do also want to announce on July 28th, City Council will be honoring the Department of Recreation Services and to honor Parks and Rec Month. And, let's be there, let's show up in honor of our lovely and, dare I say, the best department in Daly City. So I will definitely be there to be a cheerleader for you all. And advance congratulations. And I do have the flyer right now. So on Saturday, August 2nd at 2 p.m., there's going to be a Teen Makers Market. It's youth-led, community-connected, and full of fun. It is going to be at the War Memorial Community Center, 6655 Mission Street, Daly City. Am I missing any information? Is that good?
I guess we just want to also highlight that we did have a job readiness program, 2 cohorts of teens that participated in learning how to create resumes, how to conduct themselves during job interviews. They had practice interviews. And then through that, there were 13 that were selected from the 2 cohorts to intern in our city. So they've been placed, some are interning at the library, recreation, our senior center, aquatics area, I believe fire, water, wastewater, and we have some that who are the ones that are actually putting the Teen Makers Market together. And then with guidance from our 2 part-time staff and Gina Maganini, who oversees the job readiness program.
Thank you for that info, and thank you to staff for leading that. Any other announcements or, all right. Next is just agenda building for next meeting. Already I'd like to request continuing the unified goal discussion to the next meeting. Is there any agendas?
No, I'm good with that.
We good?
Yeah.
All right. And I think for just announcements, since our dear commissioner is retiring from the post, that means there's an opening in the Recreation Commission. If anyone is interested, there is an application online. If my memory serves me right, it is under vacancies, under commissions and vacancies. It is in the Daly City website. So yeah, just throwing that announcement out there. If nothing further, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a motion, please?
I motion.
And a second?
I second.
Thank you. I will adjourn this meeting honoring our retiring commissioner, Saul Miranda. Thank you, everyone. Good night.